All right, good to see everybody. Glad to be here. Had some time on a Friday night. I figured I'd jump on and answer all your questions. Feel free if you want to drop your question in the chat. I'll answer as many of these as I can tonight. You also, as you know, can get your question answered. Skip the line, get it answered on the site. I went ahead and pinned the link to that, but make sure you drop a like. Make sure you're subscribed if you haven't subscribed yet and you've made it this far in the season. We appreciate you guys and all the support that you've given us up to this point. It has been a little bit since we did a Start Sit live stream. We've been admittedly pretty busy, but again, I wanted to jump on here and make sure that we're ready to go for this week because we are in the home stretch now. We are at the point where it's playoff time pretty much. So I hope you guys are still in it. But like I said, I'll answer as many of these questions as I can. I'll pull the site up here too, but yeah, make sure you drop a like. And like I said, I'll kind of start at the top and I'll work my way down. So feel free. You don't need to spam because it's not going to make a difference. I'm just going in order. So, all right, cool. And like I said, you can follow this link up here if you want your question to pop up on the screen right here and get it submitted on the site. But let's start with Levi. Levi says it's a PPR guillotine league. You need to pick 3 here. London, Hill, Lamb, Ridley, and Cup. All right. I'm going to pull over. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make sure I have my rankings in front of me for this week so I can answer your questions that way as well. Okay. So this is pick 3 from a wide receiver. And with my wide receiver rankings up. Oh, wrong one. Idiot. Okay. London, Hill. I would go London for sure. London and then Lamb. And Cup. London, Lamb, and Cup are my 3. Tyreek Hill we have ranked at 15th this week because... Oh, man, my video froze out. Because, you know, he hasn't really done anything. So I think until Tyreek Hill does anything, you have to kind of keep him here. And I don't know, maybe he'll recover. He just doesn't look like himself. He also has a tough matchup this week. So I'm leaving him off and I'm leaving Calvin Ridley off. Calvin Ridley's been great. I have him still ranked in the wide receiver 2 range. He does have a decent matchup this week against Minnesota though. I just feel like you're starting your best players in Lamb, London, and Cup. So that's what I got. Cheers, Levi. Cameron, what's up? Who do you prefer this week? Hunter Henry or Will Dissly? I prefer Hunter Henry this week. I have Hunter Henry ranked. Where do I have him ranked? I have Hunter Henry much higher. He's playing the Rams. It's a good matchup. The Rams have given up the 6th most points to tight ends this year. So that's kind of my preference there. Full PPR start, Quentin Johnson or Audrey Estime. You know, honestly, the one thing about Quentin Johnson, I had to drop him in the Flock League and wasn't able to get him back. But the one thing about him is when you look at his production, he's still not getting a ton of targets. Like, you know, it's the weeks where he has a touchdown, but he's not gotten over 6 targets this year. And in his last game, he had 10 points, but it's because he had a touchdown. I would start Audrey Estime and I'd go with the guaranteed production there. What's up, Bradley? Good to see you, my friend. Thanks for jumping in. Is Nico activated? Nico is activated and he's playing Monday night. So I traded Rachaad White for T. Higgins. Is that a good trade? I think if you have the running back depth to do that, I'm totally fine with it. Rachaad White, you're taking advantage of him coming off of a couple weeks where he did look, you know, he has been fairly productive. He's been getting a lot of targets, but he's also been scoring touchdowns. He's scored a touchdown in each of his last 4 games after not scoring a touchdown in his first 5 games. And so it's been the complete opposite of what you saw the first part of the season with Rachaad White. And for T. Higgins, I mean, you're buying low on a guy that, you know, when he's on the field has been averaging like 16 points per game. Yes, Collins is ready to go. Not a start sit question. Would you trade Lamar for Kamara in London? 10 teams, 6 point. Abso-freaking-lutely, I would. Absolutely, I would do that. That's a no-brainer. Zach, what's up, man? I have Brian Thomas and Devonta Smith as my flex options. Trade deadlines this week. Should I target T. Higgins to pair him with Burrow? Not necessarily to pair him with Burrow. You could target T. Higgins because I think he's a better option for the rest of the season than Brian Thomas Jr. is. You can see that in our rest of season rankings video that we posted not too long ago. But I think that would be the reason that I would want to go through and get T. Higgins on my team. So I wouldn't worry too much about the stack, like I mentioned, but appreciate you, man. Okay, like I said, guys, follow the link here, and you're going to get your question up just like my boy, Man of Cole. Man of Cole, appreciate it, man. Thanks for going on the site here. And this is a flex spot you're considering here. You need to know if you should start Tyreek Hill or Kareem Hunt. And this is definitely a question worth asking Kareem Hunt, obviously, since he, you know, and you don't have Isaiah Pacheco this week. He's not back. So Kareem Hunt playing at Buffalo this week. Looking at that matchup, I have him ranked as running back 17 this week. It is a very good matchup for Kareem Hunt. At this point, man, Kareem Hunt is my pick. You guys can let me know if you agree or disagree with that. Tyreek Hill is my wide receiver 15. Kareem Hunt is my running back 17. Typically, when I have players in situations like that, I tend to start. This is a PPR 12-team start. I tend to start the guy I know is going to get guaranteed volume. Not to mention the Buffalo Bills have given up the second most points of any team to running backs this year. So I feel like that is the safe way to go there. Just starting Kareem Hunt. That's what I think that's what I would do at this point. I just don't feel like you can start. I don't feel like you can start Tyreek until you can trust him. So, but yeah, I'm gonna say Kareem Hunt in this one. Appreciate you, man. Okay, let's see. Brunel says, should I start Taysom Hill, Dawson Knox, or Johnny Smith? Honestly, I would start Taysom Hill. They've found creative ways to use him recently. I'm looking at his I want to look at his 7 points in his last game, but 16 points the game before. He had 6 touches last week. Now, when you're looking at Jonu's an interesting case for some start-sit questions this week. He's not been bad. His floor has been about the same as what Taysom Hill's floor is. And then when you're looking at the last one, Dawson Knox, I'm very hesitant to start because his floor is literally 0 points. It already has been. However, you have Dalton Kincaid out in a matchup where you're playing Kansas City, and Kansas City has given up the second most points to tight ends this year, believe it or not. My pick for you is going to be Dawson Knox. Should I trade Wilson, Gibbs, and Terry McLaurin for Chris McCaffrey, Lamb, and Brian Robinson? Honestly, in terms of Wilson and Lamb, I think I would prefer Wilson rest of the season. Wilson has been outproducing CeeDee Lamb, and I don't think there's any tangible evidence of that changing anytime soon. Wilson's the wide receiver 3. CeeDee Lamb is the wide receiver 5. So, I don't know. Give the slight edge there to Wilson. Now, between Gibbs and Christian McCaffrey. Gibbs is the running back 5. He's averaging, 16, 17 points a game right now? With McCaffrey, you saw him have 16 points in his first game back, and he obviously was being eased in. He played 88% of snaps last week. B-Rob and McLaurin's kind of a wash, too. It's in the same offense. They both have about the same level of production. Honestly, this is a really fair trade, Trev. I think I'm fine with either side. Wide receiver, what's wide receiver target? Are you targeting when you're selling Chase Brown? Cool. Let me pull up my rankings here, my rest of season rankings on the site. So when you're looking at Chase Brown, and he's gotten a significant bump since you had the Zach Moss injuries. The 42nd player in our rest of season rankings when you're looking at expert consensus on Flock. Some guys around him include Zay Flowers, Devontae Adams, Marvin Harrison Jr., and Devonta Smith. I think you start high, go target Jaden Reed, go target George Pickens, go target Mike Evans. I mean, I think you can go higher. I think you can get a Mike Evans, a Terry, a Debo. If you can't, though, then you go to like Jaden Reed, George Pickens, Marvin Harrison. So that should be about the range that you're targeting a wide receiver in. Pick 2 here: Jordan Love, Jared Goff, or Bo Nix. I think right now my picks would be Jordan Love and Bo Nix, actually. When I'm looking at my rankings, Bo Nix. Where do I have Goff? Oh, Goff has the Jags this week, actually. I lied. It would be Jared Goff and Bo Nix, actually. Love has a tough matchup against Seattle. Seattle's given up the least points to quarterbacks this year, so I'd go Goff and Nix. Appreciate you, Levi. Adams says start Gesicki or Knox. Since T. Higgins is back, I'm going to go Dawson Knox there. Flex PPR League, Dobbins, White, or Dell rest of season. Rest of season? I guess I need to look at that. I need to just, they're all in the same range. So Dobbins, White, and Dell. Probably have Dobbins or White first. Let's see. Where did I put these guys? Rashad White, 66. Where's Tank Dell? Where's JK? Okay, JK I have ahead of Rashad White. And Tank Dell I have behind J.K. Dobbins. So I think my rest of season choice is going to be J.K. Dobbins here. It's J.K. Dobbins and then Rashad White for me, and then probably Tank Dell. Where I have Tank Dell. Oh, because his name is Nathaniel in our database. Wide receiver 26. Oh. Yeah, they're all pretty close, though. So, sit one, CD, JSN, BTJ, or Waddle. Tough. I think it's between, for me, BTJ and Waddle. And my rankings, I have Waddle the lowest by a long shot. Yeah, I think you sit Waddle there. Dell or Amari Cooper this week. I have Tank Dell. I think we have them in the same tier. I have Tank Dell higher. I'm going to go Tank Dell against Dallas versus Amari Cooper versus the Chiefs there. So, and then this guy just says Cox. So let's see OX, but it's valid. Let's see. Pickens or London this week. Pretty sure we have them both high. I have London higher. I have them back to back though. The one thing you need to consider here is the reason that George Pickens is back to back with Drake London this week is because he's playing Baltimore. It's probably the best matchup of the year for George Pickens. I would probably go ahead and start Pickens over London. PPR flex spot. Questionable Jaylen Warren, BTJ, or Disley. Has Warren's usage? I guess I haven't looked at his snap counts. Still about 50%. He did have not. He's like got a floor of like 8 points. Brian Thomas Jr. his floor is lower than that. And when you're looking at the matchup this week, they are going to Detroit. And in terms of opposing defense, it is a good matchup for BTJ. I would probably just start Brian Thomas there. I would just start your best player. Yes, you should drop Deontay for estimate in a heartbeat. I don't think Deontay Johnson's startable rest of the season. I don't know what you guys think, but should I trade Brian Thomas Jr. and JSN for Marvin Harrison Jr.? Both are on my bench. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. So JSN wide receiver 31 for me rest of the season. Brian Thomas wide receiver for 24, Marv wide receiver 16. I mean, it's pretty fair. But I mean, yeah, I think I would trade for anybody in the Cardinals offense right now just because the Cardinals offense has looked a lot better and it looks like an offense you want to buy into the rest of the season. So I have Pollard and Spears. Do I trade one of them? Any trade target suggestions for a better running back or wide receiver? Ideally, you would trade Spears here. Pollard is the guy I would want there. And then when you're looking at, okay, who do you target? Let's go expert here. Spears, you're not going to pull a ton of value for at this point in the season. Running back or wide receiver here. If you can trade Spears and go get Demario Douglas, Jerry Jeudy, Trey Benson, Alexander Madison, Wan'Dale Robinson, Pittman, Coleman, like those guys. Eckler, that's probably the top end of what you're going to get there. I think that's where I would be looking. Davis has got a domain shirt in the mail today from Mason, the real hero of the Flock League. Pfft, right. I'm the one that freaking paid for the shirts. Come on. You're very welcome. I'm glad you got the shirt. Sit one, DK, T, or D Hop. I personally, where did I put? I didn't rank. Yeah, I did rank T. We ranked him really low this week. So this is interesting. I guess I have T. Higgins at 32 and I have D Hop at 19. But in the Flock League, I subbed out DeAndre Hopkins for T. Higgins. So my rankings and what I'm actually doing are not adding up, which is probably a bad sign. What I'm going to tell you is they're playing the Chargers. The reason is the Chargers defense is really good. And T. Higgins obviously is coming back from injury, but he's fully healthy. He doesn't even have a designation. I think you start DK. I think it's between T and D Hop. D Hop this week also has a really tough matchup. I don't know. They're like, I think at this point I'd rank him in the same tier. I would move T. Higgins up in my rankings now that I know he's fully healthy. And I think they're in the same tier. So I think I'm gonna end up starting T. Higgins. So I think D Hop would be the guy. Yeah, Hill. Superflex sit one here. Rodgers, Cup, or London. Sit one. Probably Rodgers, honestly. I trade Goff and Lamb for Kyler, Ladd, and Estime. Need running back to still have AJ Brown. Yeah, I mean, obvious upgrade there from Goff to Kyler. Lamb to Ladd and Estime, you prefer CD Lamb there, but it's not bad enough to where it's like, oh man, because you know CD Lamb's rest of the season outlook's not great, so I'm fine with that. Essentially better. You're starting the Texans defense playing the Cowboys or the Green Bay defense playing the Bears this week. I would probably start the Texans defense. Same Texans defense that got 5 picks last week. Also the Cowboys, I mean, they just don't look good. So, do you have the Packers or Texans defense rest of the season? I don't have rest of the season defense rankings. I just kind of stream week by week, and I think that's the best philosophy for that. But my gut says if I did do rest of season rankings, it would be the Packers. Yes, and I agree totally with Joe there. Start A-Rod or Love. A-Rod has the Colts this week, doesn't he? They're in the same tier for me. I think I would start Rodgers. I forgot about that when I was answering this question. Where was it? It was Rodgers, Cup, in London. London has a tough matchup. I would consider Rodgers over London. I just wanted to throw that back out there. But I started Devonta Smith over Cedric Tillman. Yeah, that's rough. That's rough. I'm of the opinion that, like, of all 0 Cedric Tillman shares that I have, because all the leagues that he was on the waivers, he was pretty much not on waivers in my leagues is the thing. The waivers were not competitive enough. I think you have to start him until you don't. I think you start him. Bryant, which, by the way, I'm trying to think. Where did we have Devonta Smith? We had Tillman. We actually had Tillman 7 spots over Smith this week. So BTJ or Dell rest of the season. It's risky, but I can move BTJ for him. Seems lateral. Rest of season. Let me check mine. I think I still have Brian Thomas higher by 3 spots. I do. 3 spots. 24 versus 27. It's pretty lateral. I think you're right. I'm definitely not opposed to doing that though. McBride on a bye week, full PPR. I picked up Knox. Could get Disley or Kincaid, or put in a claim for Jonnu Smith. I would just start Dawson Knox. I would just start Dawson Knox there of those guys. Honestly, I would pick up Kincaid too just to have him. Not that he's been great this season. Higgins or McConkey. I think they're playing each other, right? With Ladd. These guys are going to be close to the same. One's a wide receiver, the other one's a wide. I'd probably start Ladd. But I mean, they're going to be in the exact same tier for us, so I think it's going to be either or there in terms of production. Tillman and Brian Thomas Jr. for Puka Nacua in a 10-team PPR Keeper League. Puka cannot be kept. First, pushing for the championship. Yeah. And you could keep Brian Thomas, but here's the thing. Tillman and Brian Thomas is not going to give you the boost that Puka will in terms of the championship. I would probably... that's tough, man. I'd probably hold. I think Puka could win it for you. AJ Brown and Tracy for Henry and Rashee Rice. It's a number 1, number 2. So you could get. Oof. It's basically AJ Brown for Derrick Henry. I mean, you're giving him another flexible option in Tracy too, but you are building for the future in Rashee Rice. I would probably just hold there. I think I would hold. I would take the AJ Brown side if that's the side you have now. Pick 2 here: BTJ, Douglas, Dubs, and Estime. I would go BTJ and Estime. Appreciate you, Stu. Darnold or Love? I think we do have Love higher. Darnold, we have. Yeah, he has Tennessee this week. And he was not very productive last week, so I would go Love there. My other league, I have Kittle. If he doesn't play, my options are Ferguson or Knox. I would go Knox over Fergie at this point. I traded Bowers, Estime for Walker. That's a great trade. Burrow, Lamb, Tillman, Waddle, Downs, Andrews, McBride, Dobbins, Monty, Walker, Pacheco. You got some good running backs there. Yeah, no, your team improved. I like that trade for you. And you've got Andrews and McBride. How did you even do that? Kevin, need tight end help with Kincaid underperforming. Would you trade D-Hop and A-Rich for Bowers? It's basically D-Hop for Bowers. I think that's something you've got to do here. Yeah, I'm doing that. Did you trade Chase, Brown, and McLaurin for Jacobs and Evans? I have Brown. Honestly, no. I would hold there. With what Chase Brown has been doing and how much better that offense has looked, I think I would just hold. I traded Bijan for Breece, Debo, and a top 3 first. How did you do that? That's a great trade. That's a great trade. I don't know how you did that, but that's freaking awesome. Hurts, B-Rob, Bijan, Nico, Debo, Knox, Devonta Bates. You've got Purdy, Warren, Leggett, BTJ, Taysom, and Jonnu, Laporte, and Pacheco. Maybe any moves that you should make. Hard to say just by looking in this format. The reason I have a lot of tight ends is because my opponent has Kincaid. I was trying to block myself Laporte out. That's probably smart. It looks like a good team to me, man. Looks like good. Without doing a full team review for you, it looks like a good team. Mahomes, Knicks, or Herbert? Let's see. Herbert has Cincy this week. I would go Herbie. I'd go Herbert. Type of wide receiver upgrade can I get for Andrews and Waddle package? I can check here. Like, you would basically be just trying to go from Andrews. And, okay, Andrew and Waddle are basically back-to-back in the rankings here. So, wide receiver upgrade, like, I feel like you could get to, like, JSN, Josh Downs, Tank Dell, DJ Moore range. Darnell Mooney. Yeah, I think he's talking about the Puka trade here. I think I would just, I think if you're keeping Puka, you do that. Would you rank Downs? Okay, so this is half PPR. Downs, Waddle, Ridley, Estime, and Madison. Downs is my wide receiver. Okay, actually Ridley is. Ridley here. No, it's Downs, and then Downs, Ridley, Estime, and then Waddle or Madison. London, Tyreek, Tillman, and Hopkins. I think you go Tillman and London. I have Marvin, Devontae. I got offered Lamb and Dell. I don't think I would do that. Half PPR trade, Neighbors and White for Gibbs and Odunze. I don't think I would do that either. No, I think I'd hold there. Sold Chase Brown and a second as a contender for Kupp and Evans, it looks like. Jeez, that's loud. Do not disturb. For Cup and Evans is a contender. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's a fine trade, honestly. It's pretty even. The one thing you have to consider with Chase Brown is he could have long-term value in Dynasty. I give Brees and Zay Flowers for Brian Robinson and Connor. I lose this, right? Brees and Zay for B-Rob and Connor. Yeah, you definitely lose that. I would not do that trade. Would you try to trade Justin Jefferson for Kyron and Terry in PPR redraft? Yes, I would do that if you've got Chase, DK, JMO. Well, you've got Swift. Okay, so really this is what it is. Swift, Pacheco, and Eckler. Yeah, I'm good with that trade. Stroud or Darnold? I'm going to go Stroud here. Stroud, I have it QB9. Darnold, I've got lower by a lot. JJ and Amari Cooper for Malik and Kyron. Oh. Wow. If you need running back help, I'm cool with that. I traded Bowers and Eckler for Love, Tracy Kincaid, and Douglas. And you're 3 and 7. Yeah, at that point, you kind of have to trade out of tight ends like that. The problem is, I don't look at Love as going to get you out of that hole unless it's a super flex league. So the main thing is, it looks like Bowers and Eckler to me for Kincaid, Douglas, and Tracy. I mean, I probably would have just held there. It's all going to be dependent on, I guess maybe I'm not giving Tracy enough love. It's all going to depend on Douglas. If Douglas does well, you look like a genius for doing that, but we'll see. I moved Brees for Aaron Jones, Adams, and Love. Then Debo and Pitts for McConkey, Kittle, Reed, and Pacheco. You got a lot of depth there, but my gosh. Kittle, Reed there. I don't know how you did that. Second one's nuts. I don't know how you did that, but that's a great trade. The first one I like as well. Geno, May, Rodgers, or Tua. I'm trying to see. I have Tua the highest. Tua has the best matchup. And then Knox or Taysom Hill. I would probably go Dawson Knox there. Nick Chubb or Tank Dell? Tank Dell, in my opinion. Make sure Tank Dell's matchup supports that claim. Dallas, yeah, do it. Herbert or Knicks? I think I've got Herbert higher. Herbert's got a good matchup against Cincinnati, so I would go Herbert there. Taysom over Knox for me, rushing upside. Yeah, I mean, it's all about the touches. He saw 6 touches in his last game. You know, if it's more than that, I feel like you have to start Taysom Hill. So I'm trying to remember where I had him ranked this week. Well, when I ranked, I didn't rank Dawson Knox like I had Kincaid over Hill though, so that's the thing. But yeah, I totally see that argument of it. Would you rather start Bo Nix or Love? I would rather start Bo Nix. No, I don't think Love is the obvious choice here. Chicago has given up the least amount of points this year to quarterbacks. And Bo Nix, who is a quarterback one in the season, is playing Atlanta, who's given up the 7th most points to quarterbacks this year. Nix has far and away the best matchup, and honestly, you know, when Jordan Love has been on the field, he has been averaging a lot of points. I think that's why people are still regarding him pretty highly. But Bo Nix is averaging 17 points a game, so it's not like they're only separated by a point. I'd start Bo Nix. Waddle, Higgins, Pearsall, and Dubs. Oh, gosh. Waddle, Pearsall, and Dubs, because I'm not sitting Higgins. Pearsall, I have ahead of Waddle. Dubs, I have ahead. So I think you have to sit Waddle. Nick Chubb or James Cook. I'm terrified of that defense. Yeah. I would go James Cook. Who do I target with a Mike Evans, Aaron Jones combo? I mean, you can get pretty far up with that. That's not bad assets at all. I mean, I think you'd be getting to the Garrett Wilson, Jonathan Taylor, Cooper Kupp, Malik Neighbors, Breece Hall, Puka Nacua, Kenneth Walker, Alvin Kamara range. So I would aim high with that. Looking like I have the 101 in Superflex Dynasty. Should I go wide receiver running back with that pick? I have Bijan, Kyron, Pacheco, Chase, Terry, and Ridley. Way too early to say, But what I will say is I would be less worried about position if Ashton Genty continues what he's doing. I think for value's sake, you have to take him in Dynasty at the 101. But again, it's way too early to say. I wouldn't worry so much about team need with your rookie draft. You clearly have a bigger need, in my opinion, at wide receiver. However, we're gonna have to see how I'm assuming you're not drafting before the rookie draft, so we'll have to see how the draft goes. If it ends up to where you've got one of Tet McMillan or Luther Burden being picked at the 101, and there's no value discrepancy between him and Ashton Genty, then maybe you do go wide receiver. But Pickens, Hunt, or Garrett Wilson in a full point PPR league. Pickens, I would honestly go in a full point PPR league. I go Pickens and Wilson, I think. Appreciate Andrew. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate your thrill shot. Not a lineup question. There's some sleeper names you think could be league winners down the stretch, like Bucs running backs have a great rest of season schedule. Yeah. Sleeper? Let me look. Jacoby Myers. I'm way higher on Jacoby Myers than everybody else. I don't feel like at this point Cedric Tillman is a sleeper, right? Cortland Sutton has been really good recently. Juwan Jennings, I think, is a sleeper to have a really good rest of season. Let's see if there's anybody else down here. Yeah, it's kind of hard at this point. It's kind of hard for there to be sleepers this late into the season, but there are definitely guys that have better playoff schedules than not. Am I crazy to? I don't think it's crazy to start Knox over Njoku. I've got Njoku ranked higher this week. I don't think it's crazy though. Once you're in that, I would probably start Njoku, but I don't think you're crazy. You do what your gut says. Herbert against the Ravens. Is that who Herbie plays this week? Which Herbert? Herbie plays the Bengals this week, right? Unless my tool's wrong. Yeah, they play the Bengals this week. And then Wilson, I'm assuming, is Russ. For week 12. Oh gosh, you got me ahead. You got me way ahead here. Probably Herbie against the Ravens. Probably Herbie. Should I trade London for Debo or trade Dell for Devonta Smith? Or both? I would hold London. I would hold Dell. I would hold. Appreciate you, James. I've got Allen and Hurts in my start 2 QB Dynasty League. Penix on the taxi just traded Jaden Daniels and Terry McLaurin for Gibbs, A.J. Brown. Yeah, that's a great trade. I love that trade. Excellent job. Yeah, Natasha says Justin Herbert as well, so. You know it's over when I'm starting Hunter Henry over DJ Moore. That is one of the clinical signs that it might be over. It might be. So. Cool. All right, you guys. If you guys have any more questions, I'm caught up, so roll them in. I'll answer a couple more before I get off of here, but definitely glad we could answer some questions tonight. What's up with AJ Brown? How many points did he end up with? 11 last night in full point PPR, right? 11 and a half, yeah. What's really up the last 4 weeks is he just hasn't had any touchdowns. That's really what it is. Would you trade Kupp and Stevenson for Evans and Ladd? No. I would hold. In a 3 wide receiver 1 flex, I would hold. I want Kupp. I just want the best player. So, yeah, 11 and a half. Yep. T or Zay? Zay. Brees for B-Rob and JSN. PPR. Best player in the deal, in my opinion, is still Brees. I think you hold Brees there. Wait, what? Says Knox or Taysom Hill. We've gotten this one already. I said Knox, and they're honestly going to be 2 guys in the same tier for me. Knox, obviously getting the volume this week without Kincaid, but Taysom Hill has the rushing upside. So same tier. Go with your gut. I see arguments for both of them. Love you too, buddy. Nico and Tracy for Debo and Garrett is bad for me, right? It's even. I probably wouldn't do it. It's pretty even though. Yeah, I'd take Brees. Also, Dobbins and Myers for Tyreek. Honestly, I think I would hold there too. I think I would hold the package. Yeah, DK is back. It does hurt JSN. You are right. Would you trade Puka for AJ Brown? No. No, Puka's been, I mean, at least the other night. I mean, Puka had 18 points, but in the 2 games where he's played actually like more than 50% of snaps this year, he's had 18 points. So, what can Brian Thomas Jr. and Stevenson get me? I need a tight end or a better running back too. I mean, moving up from BTJ, the tight ends above him are going to be Trey McBride, Travis Kelce, Kittle, and Bowers. Okay, so that's what you're going to do. In terms of running back twos here, you're probably looking at Aaron Jones, Chase Brown, James Cook, and JT at the top end of that. Thoughts on Stroud moving forward? Should I try and upgrade? Yeah, I don't think Stroud is going to be somebody that's startable in fantasy this year. Picked up Knox over Gesicki with McBride on bye. Did I make the right move? Yeah, because Gesicki's got T. Higgins back, so I think Knox is the play. It's a 1 to 2 year Superflex rebuild. Would you move any of Lamar, Mahomes, or DK? I mean, I would have to see your whole team. I'd honestly have to do a blueprint for you, but you know, looking at it, looks like you would be a dual QB build. I think I'd have to look at the rest of your roster. A lot of times we recommend down tiering from a quarterback, so it just depends on your roster. So I'd trade Reek in that deal, by the way. Oh, then yes, I think I'm fine with that. So appreciate you. Have Hawkinson. Would you trade for Kittle? Yeah, I'm fine with that. I feel better about Kittle rest of the season. Dynasty's a rebuilder. My best running back being Jalen Warren. Would you trade DJ Moore for Tyron Tracy? Yeah, here's the thing though. Why do you need running backs on a rebuild? They don't hold their value. They're volatile, and you don't need production right now. Now, trading DJ Moore's not a bad idea, but I wouldn't worry about not having running backs at all. A good dynasty rebuild doesn't even have running backs. So, Puka for AJ Brown straight up. I think, yeah, I think I would go Puka here. In terms of their schedule, look, Puka in the playoff weeks is one important. San Francisco, the Jets, and Arizona. So he has a tough week 16 matchup, and then AJ Brown. 15 through 17, Pittsburgh, Washington, and Dallas. So, it's kind of lateral. Burrow or Wilson? Burrow. Nathan sucks. Nathan doesn't suck. Nathan's a good dude. But yeah, he kind of sucks. He sucks in the sense that I'm better than him at fantasy football. What running back would you trade Montgomery for? A running back? Another running back? Let me see. Monty, I think you have to go up. Zay Flowers, Devontae Adams, Marvin Harrison Jr., George Pickens, one of those guys. T. Higgins or Josh Jacobs in a full point PPR flex. Jacobs. Estimate this week that targets are coming. I'm not confident. They clearly are using my boy Jaleel for that. I honestly haven't been throwing to running backs a whole lot. Even Jaleel's last game didn't even have a target. And I don't think Estimate had a target either. Because I think Javonte had 3 or 4 targets last game. 2 targets. They're not really throwing to the running backs a whole lot, so I'm not confident targets are coming. Oh, BTJ and Mondre. I think it's the same answer, though. I think, like I said, you're looking at upgrading there. Let me see. Where is Thomas? Yeah, I mean, I think with Brian Thomas going with Ramondre, you could skip up here and go Marv, Pickens, Reed, Mike Evans, Terry McLaurin, Debo, just guys like that. Komet or Jonnu. I would probably start Komet. Start Debo or James Conner. I'm going to go Conner. Jonathan Taylor's going to bounce back. I would bet on it. I'm starting him everywhere. Reload scenario. Wasn't supposed to compete. Didn't work out. I was supposed to compete. Didn't work out. I'm very heavy at wide receiver. That's why I was considering Tracy for more. Yeah, so your 1 year reload. I get it. But I think I would just hold. I think I want somebody more secure than Tracy. I feel like Tracy could get drafted over. Higgins or London. I would go London. And you meant more for Tracy. Yeah, I know. I got you. I think I would just hold. So I think he asked for a running back to trade for. Which one? Monty? Or was it that one? That's what you're talking about? Let's see. Nah, I don't know which one you're talking about. He'll ask again. Chase Brown or Montgomery for running back 2. Honestly, rest of the season, I go Chase Brown. Just higher upside there. Jones, Walker, Cook, Connors. Yeah, I agree with that. Marvin Harrison Jr. and Tracy for Kupp. I would take Kupp. Estimate over Douglas. Yes. Would you think the new OC in Chicago will do anything fantasy-wise? Yes. I think it should help their receivers. We'll see how quickly, though. It could just be a lost season for them. Would you trade Montgomery for Kenneth Walker? I would prefer Kenneth Walker. Audric Estime or Pop Douglas? Estime. Yes, on Monty. Start one at flex. Walker, Tyreek, or Hopkins. I would go Kenneth Walker. So, yeah. Yeah, no, Kenneth Walker rest of the season in terms of his ranking is still like 16 overall on the Flock site for the expert consensus. So that's where I'm looking with that one. So any running backs you target as a reload. Yeah, Benson and Brooks, that's obviously, those are the main ones. Outside of those guys, we haven't really been recommending them. So I would say no. You can get running backs in the draft or you can get them in the offseason. Think how much cheaper James Conner, Alvin Kamara, Aaron Jones. Think how much cheaper they were in the offseason than they are now. Komet or Jonnu? Yeah, I think I answered this one. Pretty sure I did. Maybe not. Sorry. I would probably start Komet. I think I would start Komet. Yeah, the Bears offense coordinator, I'm interested to see how. Yeah, I did answer that one. Maybe I didn't answer it. My bad. I don't know. Freaking start Komet, though. Lamb, Higgins, Jennings, London, JSN. Which 3 would you start? London, Lamb, and Higgins for me. So. Full PPR 10-man. I got Burrow, Mixon, JT, AJ Puka, Kelsey, Connor, and Pacheco. Any suggestions? I mean, off the top of my head here, no, it looks like a really good team. I mean, I don't really have anything for you there. I mean, it looks like even for a 10 team, I think that's a really solid team. You've got depth, you've got star power, you've got upside. Upside's everything in that format. Payne's on CD. I've got him ranked now. He's like the wide receiver, 12 or 13, maybe 13 or 14 rest of the season. That's where I value him. I still think he's going to be productive, just not as production. CD and Hunt for Bijan. Which wide receiver should I aim if I want to trade away? Mixon. Okay, Mixon. Where is my boy Mixon? He's up here. I mean, you're talking about there are only 4 wide receivers ahead of Joe Mixon. A.J. Brown, Nico Collins, Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase. And that's a 14-man? Yeah, I'm thinking. Waddle rest of the season? Same thing as Waddle this season. It's been bad. I don't want to start him. I don't want to start him. Dude's a wide receiver 62. He's played every single game. His lack of production has been incredible. He's averaging... Let me even pull it up. I mean, he's not a guy you want rest of the season, just frankly. Dolphins D versus the Raiders or Rams versus New England? I would go the Rams defense there. Waddle's averaging 8 points a game this year. His targets have been slashed. So, it's unfortunate. But, all right, y'all. I'm going to jump off, but definitely appreciate you guys. Thanks for jumping out. Like I said, if you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe. It's the one thing you can do to help support us. But really love hanging out with you guys, answering all your questions. So, thank you guys for joining us. We'll see you soon. Peace out. Have a good weekend.